Alright guys, let's continue.
불로 정화하고 깨끗한 세계를 세우라.
Okay, no story.
방금 벌레 말은 듣지 않는 사람 누구야? 최선을 다해보자. 뭐야?
Okay, 2 waves is fine.
걸려라. 자, 한 건 했고.
유효타 좋아. 계속 집중하지.
좋아.
우리가 우세. 서둘러 끝내보자.
불길 속으로.
I mean, there's really this point, like it's like we've been like just farming throughout season 1, and there's really no challenge unless you're like starting from scratch and just.
정사살 좋아.
I think you might be. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that you can, if you do this like at level 30 after you beat the what's her name again? After you beat that the third chapter boss, you might be like this fight might be a little bit challenging, but I mean if you're at level 35. Then it might not be that challenging. It might be pretty easy.
그럴 수도 있지. 포기하지만 말자고. 한 방 먹였네. 이 기세를 멋지게 보자고.
그 오물을.
제대로 찝었군. 자, 한 건 했고.
너 이제 쓸만해졌고.
우리가 우세. 서둘러 끝내보자고.
Well, there's
정화.
Sinclair. This identity is so. It's bad to use like long term.
소화. 깨.
It's really bad to use like in long fights, but
계속 밀어붙이자.
it's so good. Like it's so good because the more you lose, the more you win. And actually win clashes by losing clashes.
선택.
Alright, let's get her to level 35 before I continue. Level 35.
불로 정화하고 깨끗한 세계를 세우라.
I mean, even though the difference is pretty small, it's still something, right? There's still no story.
방금 벌레 말은 듣지 않는 사람 누구야?
Okay, got it. Okay, let me try this. Okay. Favor. Okay, I mean I do have one dominating.
가자.
Wow, okay, I won that.
떼어내주지.
유효타 좋아. 계속 집중하지.
Okay, I mean so far 100% win rate.
너 맛. 취.
방금은 좋지 않았어. 뭐 그럴 수도 있지. 포기하지만 말자고. 내가 응원하는 게 도움이 되긴 하려나? 힘내게
Alright, let me
해보자고.
take a look here. Weak against weak against blunt, which I don't think we have that many blunt. That's a slash. That's pierce. Well, this is blunt. That's pierce as well. Okay, everything is 1 speed, so we can try to find the best to beat this. Alright, I'll go for it. Oh, I won. Okay. I mean, as long as we win the clashes, I'm happy. I need him to lose.
우리가 우세. 서둘러 끝내보자고.
Minus 23 already.
정화.
피는 확실히 빼는 편이 좋지.
Okay, I mean, I think we should be there. We're just not doing a lot of damage.
무슨 맛일까?
다 죽어라.
Okay, so did we suppress it? As the prolonged cycles of pain came to an end, the abnormality has been successfully suppressed. We can return to the bus now. It was a success that accompanied many deaths and revivals on our side, but I nodded anyway. We got back on the bus, harboring a few unanswered questions. You came back later than expected. I was just about to take my first nap in a while. I explained the oddities we ran into earlier to Virgilius. To be more precise, Faust did the heavy lifting. I was expecting him to coldly tell me to do my job as a middle manager and follow whatever orders I'm given, but his answer was surprisingly earnest. The existence of abnormalities has been almost completely unknown to the public, and we don't possess all the details on them either, Dante. Didn't think you'd admit it right away. Faust flinched a little, but she didn't relay what I just said. Enigmatic as they are, let's leave Miss Faust and other departments of our proud Limbus Company to uncover all the details about them in the future. Why don't we? We'll do. Was Faust given any time to do any research on this job? The mysteries were left unsolved, but if Faust accepted the suggestion without a hitch, that probably means she's thought of a way. You, why do you have your shoulders so hunched like that? You're short enough as you are, and this shrunken posture makes you practically imperceptible. I hoped I could meet Sir Siegfried again. Who was Sir Siegfried again? Wasn't that the man who took photos of himself while cutting us down with one hand? Oh, right. That Zach Fritcher guy? Zach Fritcher? Ishmael was breathing noisily through the nose. The incident at the checkpoint must have left some deep grudges on her.
본인이 사람들을 구하는 모습
eager I was to show him my valiant act of rescuing civilians. I vowed that I will meet him again as a fixer of noble cause. Reunions are more touching if it's after a long time, Don Quixote. Try thinking that it's a good thing he didn't show up today. It really is strange though. He's not one to miss spectacles with this many spectators around. Oh, is he kind of like a celebrity then? You could say that. He has a flair for showmanship, so it's usual for K-Corp to take advantage of these kind of commotions by sending him. But if he hasn't shown up to this perfect opportunity to draw up the public's full attention, it means this isn't something they want people to notice. I shan't take such vicious slander of Sir Siegfried. On the 5th row on page 42 of his autobiography, a hero should keep smiling until their last. He writes that he shall be there to aid the weak, no matter when and where. Alright, best hold that belief of yours dearly. That way, you'll have something to hang on to when you face the extreme in the future. That's like a foreshadow of Don Quixote's story, maybe?
야, 이 정도면 너무 성공적인데?
4.7. There is no like progress up here? We don't know how many chapters there are. As the futile conversations reached an end, the bus lazily pulled to a stop. We'd arrived in front of a building so tall that it would take a while to count the floors. A few shrank down as if intimidated. I understood Sinclair being one, but Heathcliff and Ishmael also seemed to be pressured. A few looked around with curious eyes, and some others walked with poise like they knew they deserved a royal treatment. I guess we've earned some renown. We're finally being invited to places regular people would live. Let me make this clear. If the request and the rewards to loads of tosh like the last time, I'm out. Heathcliff ground his teeth. Well, whether by a hung loose words or due to memories of what we got into last time we were here. Oh, they're at the checkpoint, I think. Ah, you're a little late as expected. Oh, it's Samjo, the guy from the chicken chapter? As expected. That man is... It's a pleasure to meet you again. I want you to know that this is my heartfelt sentiment and not a formality. A familiar face I've never expected to see again greeted us. I'm out. Told you I'm not dealing with this. Give it a moment. Let's at least hear what he has to say, okay? Let's go. Do you even get how it feels to have nightmares about doing tango with raw chickens, eh? To tell you the truth, my last request was a test to measure your competence. And you passed with flying colors. Congratulations. I mean this one as well. Who are you to test and grade us, you? That's of course at the discretion of Mr. Samjo, my shrewd secretary. So you must be from Limbus Company. Pleasure to meet you. I'm Dongran. Heard a lot about you from Samjo. It almost made me a fan. Fan? This style will say just now that we have earned thy adoration? It's just flattery, Don Quixote. If I'm being honest, The test wasn't my idea. I mean, you aren't lab chickens or anything. You deserve better than involuntary tests. Indeed, it was my suggestion. I had reason to, since this Limbus Company is a little known firm. It's a little known firm that could or could not be newly established. We couldn't take the risk of entrusting this unknown organization with a request on Mr. Dong Ran's words alone. So that means you're requesting us. Ishmael asked for a confirmation, her face seeming rather proud.
그거야 당연하죠.
Of course, because you are... why don't I show you my lab? There are many fun things to see. What are we? Why is he hiding things? Changing the subject so shamelessly is only gonna bother us more. Sorry? Are you really going to take these people to your laboratory? Why not? They passed your test, didn't they, Samjo? And if they've got the skills to take down what they called an abnormality as we saw today, you have heard traces of heroic deeds indeed make themselves known to the masses in no time. That's a fun way to put it. And you must be Dante, the manager, yes? Can we speak for a moment? Faust tried to say something to Dongran, but he and Samjo dragged me afar away by the time she stepped forward. Okay, so... application? I mean, I don't mind, but you can't hear me anyway. I was too embarrassed to bring it up in front of the whole group, but actually one of your employees was an old friend of mine. Oh, who is it? And he wouldn't give me any nods either. Perhaps he was embarrassed like me. It was a struggle to hiding how disheartened I was. Maybe you weren't as close as you thought then. Wait, can you hear my voice? Mr. Dongran, this person is unable to communicate normally. That's why I'm talking, Samjo. It's like I'm back to being a child, muttering my woes to a wind-up toy, don't you think? Well, there's something crazy about this guy. It was a monologue? What are you two even doing? It was mostly because of him that I decided to send my request to you. I can trust a familiar person better than a stranger. See, this is why I can't let my guard down even for a second. You're too easily influenced by human attachment. So let me ask you a favor. Use your tact and consideration to pretend that you know nothing about the relationship between him and I, okay? You haven't even told me who that friend is. I could only let out a deep sigh and shake my head. The conversation that never got through ended as arbitrarily as it began. This isn't asking a favor. You're giving me a notice. Whereas the laboratory aisle, ordinary visitors would not be permitted to go any further. But since you've been invited to by Mr. Dongran, I'll show you to the interior. Well, I hope I could work in a company as big as this. Then maybe you could have applied for the companies. Why didn't you give it a shot? You're joking, right, Odin? Not everyone can join these companies. This kind of firm only accepts the very best of elites. Like Faust or Isan, for example. Ishmael's remark gave me a good opportunity to bring up my earlier question. Yeah, why did you choose to join Limbus Company out of all the options you had? There must have been better companies to apply for. Because I'm Faust. There was a certain energy in her confidently clarifying tone that discouraged me from asking any more questions. What about you, Yi-san? Okay. It's probably Yi-san that is the
그대는 왜 이곳에
the
있어?
acquaintance. Let me take the trouble of asking back, manager. Why did you join the company you work for? I mean, that's because I had no choice, no other choice.
귀하가 스스로 답을 내줘.
That should sufficiently answer your own question. Okay. It looks like Ishmael wasn't exaggerating about the qualifications it takes to join this firm. The laboratory was dominated with a stiff stillness that could only be achieved by everyone being in full focus. Dante, look, over there. You see that? The fridge is full of snacks. You could take 1 or 10 and they wouldn't notice. And we would break that stillness with nonchalance.
넉넉하게 챙겨가세요.
Take as much as you like.
삼조 씨,
Samjo, pack
이따가
some
탕수실
snacks in the break room into
간식들을
small
소분으로
bundles to give them
이분들한테
later.
나눠줘.
알겠습니다.
Understood.
대박이다 이스.
That's awesome, Ishi. Maybe we should quit this job and join here?
다 들려요 로자 씨.
Everyone can hear you, Radia.
로자 씨,
Rodion,
근로 계약에는
the work contract says...
농담 파우스트 씨.
I'm joking,
농담.
Faust.
응?
Joking, see?
그럼
Let's move on to
이제
the
의뢰
request.
내용을
이젠 하다하다
You're bringing
외부인들까지
outsiders
들어오고
into the building
회사
now,
견학까지 시켜주는 거야,
but
동나?
are you a field trip guy now, Dongran?
잠깐
Pardon me for a
이분은
moment.
출연네요.
This is Shireen.
연구소 팀장이자 제
She's
인사
the manager
동료인데
of the department
저한테
next to
상처
mine,
하기 위해
and
찾아오는 게
a colleague
것이죠.
and a colleague who joined the company at the same time as I did. Visiting me to hurl hurtful words takes up much of her daily routine.
회사에선 네 팀에 할애하는
I figured someone's
복지비가
got to
이런
point
식으로
out the
낭비되고 있는
massive
것에 대해
drain of our company's
누군가
welfare
한
budget.
명쯤은 말을 해야 하지
That is
않나
your team.
싶거든.
If you're wondering about how we spend our welfare budget,
올해
you'll see it when the
최우수
Department of the
부서를
Year
받아보면 알수
trophy is
있을 거야.
awarded,
그치,
right,
삼조
Samjo?
최우수 부서가 받는 혜택을
It would take a full
전부
day to list the
이야기하자면
benefits of the
쌀밥을
department
세야 할
chosen as the best receives.
아, 둘 다 똑같이 재수없어.
You're snobs, both of you.
라이벌인가?
Is that a rival?
어디 가나 잘난
I do
사람일수록
suppose excellence is followed by envy wherever it is.
시기는 발전의
Envy fuels
원동력이니
advancements, as they
잘난 쪽이
say.
참아줘야죠.
So it's only right for us to show a
어제
little
그 파일
generosity
가게에서
for
회식으로
those
사온 거
falling behind.
출연료 부서에도
Should we
드릴까
give
생각했어.
some of the pies we bought from that store to Strain's department, Samjo?
안 그래도 그럴 생각이었습니다.
I was planning to.
후추, 고추,
Pepper,
상추,
chili,
카레 맛.
lettuce, and curry flavor ones specifically. Oh, lettuce flavored?
그것도
That
맛있겠는데?
also sounds tasty.
그럼
Now
먼저
then,
얘기를
let's back to the main topic.
소문은 들었어요.
I heard
황금
the
가지라는
rumors
유기물을 수집하는
about a
신생
newly
회사가
formed company collecting organic objects called Golden Boughs.
그리고 그
And those
황금
golden bowls
가지라는 건
are found exclusively inside closed down branch facilities of Lobotomy Corp.
황금가지의 존재는
How
어떻게
did you
알게
learn
됐지?
about the existence of golden bowls?
얼마 되지는
It was a
않았어요.
recent
몇
discovery.
달 전까지
We've been using a Lobotomy Corp branch near our research facility as a lab until months ago.
그 끔찍한
You
곳에
set up a lab in
연구소를
that
차렸다고.
horrible place?
하지만
But I thought they were all buried underground.
뭐
Well, I guess there were rare resources and
희귀한
documents they could
자료들이 남아
use.
있었을 테니까.
연구 대상에
Did the scope of your research include abnormalities? What's with all these stupid questions? Let the man talk. Like, what the fuck?
알아보시는군요. 연구원이라면
For sure,
그냥
no
지나칠
researcher
수
could
없는 존재죠.
overlook such intriguing subjects.
그렇다면 연구원이라면
Researchers must be
미친.
all soft in the head if that's what they are interested in. Wait,
잠깐. 너 설마
when you were mumbling rubbish and tossing a rock at one of them chicken heads, did you?
히스클리프 씨는
I will say
가끔씩
Heathcliff's unexpected fits of insight surprise me sometimes.
당신들이 우연을 가장
You led us into dealing with a distortion in a coincidental encounter so that you can gather data for research on abnormalities.
아,
Mr. Sandro here is no good at
연기가 영
acting.
능숙하지 못해요.
I suppose it's his upright
평생
way of
올곧게만
life.
살아와서 그런가? 이해해 주세요.
Please understand.
저희로서는
We had no
뒤틀림과
means to
환상체의
clearly
차이를 명확하게
distinguish a
알지 못해서
distortion from an abnormality.
마음이
A person
상상에
distorts
허물어졌을
when the mind crumbles to figurative
뒤틀린다고
pieces. Was it?
멋있는
That was a
비유였어요.
stellar figure of speech.
그렇다면
Did you restore his
당신들이
crumpled mind
허물어진 마음을
back into health then?
원상복귀시켜준 건가요?
무너진 마음을
There's no
대신
way
쌓아올려주는
to piece
방법이
together
없어요.
someone else's broken mind.
길을 가르쳐드린
We,
거예요.
we merely taught him the way. It was the choice of the restaurant owner whether to stay there or take that path.
와,
Wow,
당신 정말
you know
많은
so much.
말이군요.
If I were just a
제가
bit
조금만 더
younger, I'd have jumped and hopped trying to high five you.
거예요.
언제든지
You're always unwelcome to try.
동랑님,
Mr. Donran, you're going off track again.
아,
You're right. Alright.
자,
Then one day, while we were
우리가
happily
로보토미
indulged in
기술실에서
research in that
행복하게
laboratory in the
연구를
lobotomy branch
그곳에서
facility,
무력 습격
armed
행위가
terrorists
일어났어요.
attacked
아주
the place.
깜짝이야.
It was all too sudden.
눈앞에서
Have you
폭탄이
seen a
터지는 걸
bomb
본 적이
set
있나요?
off before your
참
eyes?
먼저
It's quite a
모든
spectacle.
것이 한순간에
Spectacle.
시작되고
It all
끝나는
starts and
우리
ends
같죠?
in a split second, just like the universe, isn't it?
테러를 일으킨 세력은 어디였지?
Where are the terrorists now?
인원의 신분은
The members
특정할
have
수 없을
almost
정도로
nothing in
제각각이며
common, and their
목적과
motive is
분명히
unknown. They
모습을
only
드러내기
showed up
시작한 건
recently.
최근이었거든요. 결국
In the end,
동양시팀이
the
머물고
terrorist
있었던 연구실은 그
organization
테러지까지
took over the
점령하고
laboratory Mr. Dongran's team had stayed in.
연구실
That must be
그때
where
옮겼던 것인가 봐.
when the lab was moved. How severe was the damage? Dongran turned his gaze from Isan to the sporadically unoccupied seats.
저 비어있는 자리들
You see,
말이죠.
those empty seats.
당분간은 공석일
They'll
거예요.
stay that way for a while.
중요하거든요.
Their owners died in that act of terror. Huh? Looking closely, I saw snacks and flowers placed on the spots, probably as a way to mourn the dead. This fellow we only managed to recover a finger off. We couldn't find the right place to put it, so we've been keeping it in storage. It should be over as a display on the second floor. Why are they displaying it? A solemn silence filled the office, but Donran continued, brushing the empty desk with his hand. There is so much we had to left behind. Donran.
특히
I especially missed the plaque modeled after the face of my character. That was a favorite souvenir of mine. I'll be stumped. I can't tell how much of what he says is jokes and how much of it is serious.
그러면
What about that seat then? What about that seat then? Our attention was brought to a white desk that was completely empty. That one is reserved.
예정된 자리예요. 새로운 직원이
We're waiting
오기를
for a new employee to take that seat.
그럼
Oh,
모집
is
요건이
there
따로
an
있는
application
건가요?
guideline for the
어디 가면
position then?
모집하죠?
Where can I see it? Ishmael's bright-eyed inquisition was interrupted by Samjo's displeased utterance. Oh dear, Mr. Samjo is feeling all uncomfortable now. Shall we actually get to the point then, Samjo?
진짜 본론으로 넘어갈까요, 삼조 씨?
Yes, please.
단도직입적으로
Let me
말하면
be blunt. I suggest an accord that will benefit both parties.
빼앗긴 연구실을
If you help us
되찾아주신다면
retake that laboratory,
당신들에겐
we'll
저희가
yield the
발견한
ownership of the Golden Bough we
황금가지의
found to
수육과를
you.
네.
양도하겠습니다.
질문드리죠.
I have a question. Is this a fixed contract or a post-fulfillment review contract? Will it be represented by delegate bodies or co-executive members?
답변하겠습니다.
Allow me to answer that. This will be a delegate body represented immediate contract with no warranty liability. A contractual signing overseen by an observer from a Grade 1 contract office will take place following due process. A trunk contract office? I don't know what's going on. Does it really have to be so complicated? At J-Corp's district, we couldn't get the Golden Bow right away despite winning because there wasn't anyone overseeing the deal. Oh, that Iode from the marriage Archfields? She started the fight even after Rodia won the game. It's Ida from Los Mariachis. Did we not get it? I thought we got the Golden Bow though. Did we not get the Golden Bow? I thought the only one that we lost was the first one where we went down into the Lobotomy Corp's actual location and then we got someone, like another party came and took it from us. And then chapter 2 and chapter 3 we got both of those bows, right? That's right. Instead of playing the role of the observer, she left us with no choice but to take the bow with force. Okay, so we took the bow with force, but not actually by being like contracted, by following the contract. Which is why it's safer to use the service of an association or contract office to stand as an observer or notarize the contract, even if it can be costly. That's what Faults probably considered most carefully, I think. Ishmael explained like it was a common knowledge. I guess it's well known among city folks. This contract certainly favors our side. As long as the goal is achieved. We watched with our mouth agape as the two declared the conclusion at once. This is a secret, but I frankly don't get more than half of what Mr. Samjo says. I just nod like, oh I see, and move on. What a coincidence, it's the same for us too. Are you supposed to be the last person to be ignorant of your secretary's words? Still, I guess making a contract with K-Corp's laboratory means we won't be fighting against the wing staff for a while. You know, those people who would keep healing their wounds. The team fell into a somber silence. All the memories related to them were filled with misery and suffering. So you've seen K-Corp's regeneration technology already. We've more than seen it. Had to deal with it over and over. I get sick of the thought. Why don't I show you around my lab instead then? It's not here though. You have to take the elevator once more. You would show them that much, Mr. Donran? That place is off limits for unauthorized personnel. You just made a really funny noise, Sandro. Well, it shouldn't hurt. We're hanging out a bit to celebrate the provisional contract being signed. I wasn't sure if that was an appropriate way to celebrate things, but since no one in the team objected, I decided to follow him. Okay, we're just going through a lot of story. There's more freaking story. Alright, oh my god, so much freaking reading. Like they just, everybody just keeps interrupting him and then like we just go on this tangent and then it's like, WTF. This is where regenerative ampoules are made. They're publicly called HP bullets, but the underlying principle is nanobot-based medical treatment. There have been struggles here and there, but at the moment, the ampoule is slightly modified. The ampoules are slightly modified recently. The ampoule I slightly modified recently is the most commonly used version.
그걸 보급한 사람이
So let me get this straight. You're the one who supplied that?
때문에 얼마나 죽을
Damn
건데.
it. Do you have any idea how much that made us suffer?
그 고비를
You barely managed to crawl over that adversary.
그래도
I'm relieved that none of you seems to have passed away or suffered severe wounds at the very least. Ah, that reminds me, I was told companies have different definitions of death on the job, and the processes of dealing with them. I'm sure Mr. Samjo gave me an explanation on it.
그럼 동랑 씨는 계속해서 이 모든 치료는
So, Donran, are you continuing your research on improving those curable nanobots? Of course not. HB bullets have long been commercialized. My project right now is improvement of livestock using HB bullets.
가축
Improving livestock? If cutting as a concept is reduced to irrelevance, if it becomes limited to a fleeting moment, think about it. We can get endless supplies of high quality meat. Right. And it's not just any meat. The flesh will come from livestock research and improve with combined efforts of countless minds. That's the quality and rarity we're talking about. It seems a bit cruel. Donran has a love for meat as deep as Radius. Love, you say? You might be right. If endlessly devoting time and care can be called love. I guess snobby bunches get along well, huh? Don't beat up our client, okay, Keyscliff? Depends on how they behave. You see live chickens whose wings and legs are being cut endlessly. They don't even struggle as if they aren't feeling any pain. Okay. Is this how nanobots look? All I see is liquid. When infinitesimal particles have fluidity, they will look pretty much the same as a liquid. Is it really necessary to go this far for food? This sight is too disgusting to handle for a rich boy who grew up on juicy meat, eh? Kiddo, there are lots of people in the world who'd go all lengths for a meal. No, I mean, this isn't the same, and my family wouldn't eat any meat. I was an exception though. Why does it have to be like this? When what I'm trying to say is, I think I know what you're getting at. It does feel rather unnatural, doesn't it? If it was simply for the sake of improving food, there could have been more efficient ways of doing it. There's one thing I can say for sure. If this technology had been made available in the back streets, my friends and I wouldn't have had to rummage through trash cans. Technology. No. This is no more than breeding. They will never realize they have the ability to fly their entire lives. Isan spoke, staring directly into Donran. It was unusual for him to take this much interest in matters. I must object. Chickens cannot fly in the first place, and this technology is providing quality welfare to many. It's okay, Samjo. For someone who usually wouldn't look others in the eye to glare directly at the person, that's a sign of desperation, isn't it? The husbandry. Something seems to have happened to the lab. Will it be a good choice to head there now? They'll be fine, Samjo. They're skilled enough that they got out of a scuffle with K-Corp security staff armed with our regenerative ampoules without a scratch. Okay, so we are going to finally have to fight. terrorist organization.
불로 정화하고 깨끗한 세계를 세우라.
An explosion has been detected. Please protect yourselves from danger by swiftly moving under your desks. Intimidating machine. Oops, that was a misfire. A second explosion has been detected. Please activate the regeneration ample in your possession and please wait for K-Corp security staff that will arrive within 18 seconds of
저 멘트는 여전하네.
same old
왜 저런 말은
announcement.
항상 차분한 목소리로 말해야 하는
I
걸까?
wonder why are broadcasts like this, like that, told in such calm voices?
숨이라도 헐떡이면서
Won't a
말해야지.
little
사람들
gasping and
대기시키는
panicking be
효과적인
more
적 있어?
effective in getting people to evacuate?
역시 기술이나 과학
See,
같은
getting
것에만 몰두해서
so
눈이
preoccupied
멀어버리면
with all that
감정에
technology and
공감하려는
science
노력은
nonsense
없어진다니까.
dulls your empathy with feelings.
말이 너무 많아.
You talk too much. Be quiet.
모두 무사하십니까?
Is everyone alright?
혹시라도
If you
무사하지 않은
aren't, take a
분들은 재생앰플을 받아가시면
regeneration
됩니다.
sample.
교차적
Cross
검사를 받아야 하긴 하지만
compatibility test is normally needed, but we're in emergency.
태어나네.
You look
보통
unfazed.
테러가 벌어지면
Doesn't a terrorist attack usually throw everyone into chaos? The first attack did have everyone panicking. The explosive detection broadcast didn't exist either. Mr. Samjo hid under his desk for quite some time.
씨가 그때 책상에 한참 동안 숨어서 안 나왔는데.
항상
As I keep
말하지만
saying,
그건
the
로비에서
attack
일어난
occurred
테러였고
at the lobby,
저런 책상
and
깊숙이
that was
떨어진
merely
수첩을
attempting to
주우려던
pick up a notebook that
것뿐이었습니다.
fell under the desk.
심각하게
You
받아들이셔야
must take
합니다.
this situation seriously, Mr.
동지
Donran.
한복판에 있는
An
K사
attack on
연구실
a
습격한 건
K-Corp
보통 일이 아닙니다.
laboratory in the middle of the nest is not a matter of course. For sure, they managed to arrive at the floor where the researchers are. Oh, I think I sprained my left ankle.
나 왼쪽 다리가
Samjo.
좀 삔 것 같아, 삼주 씨.
I watched as Samjo inject a regeneration ample into Donran's body.
로보토미 지부를 점령하고 있다는 테러
Are
집단.
they the terrorists that are occupying the Lobotomy Corp branch? Indeed,
맞아요.
speak of the devil.
저 사람들이 테러
They're
단체들이라고요?
part of the terrorist
어차피
organization.
특화되어 있지는
They
않아
don't
보이는데.
really look like well-trained combatants. Would you look at that? You got an eye for that now, kid?
당연합니다.
It's natural.
직접
They
전투에
aren't the
나서는
ones
건
directly
저들이
engaging in combat.
딱 보기에도
You should take a single
동양인처럼
glance to
비실비실해
notice
보이지
that
않습니까?
they appear lean and fragile, just like Mr. Donran.
돈 있는 놈들은 직접 안
I've seen
싸우더라도
rich thoughts that
만에
don't
하나
get into
모른다면서
fights
신체
still get
각오시키는
body
거다.
enhancing augments,
저보다 엄살하네.
just in case. You sure they aren't just acting weak?
꼭 그렇지만도 않습니다.
It's not necessarily the
신체 강화
case.
방법이 다양한
As
만큼
varied as
형태에
ways to
따라
augment the body are,
괴로워하기도
some
한다.
may be repulsed by it, physically or mentally.
품질에 따라서
Some nests even
거듭나는
forbid
깃털들이
their
자기를
residents
위하여
from getting
일정
procedures
정도
above a
시술을
certain
하는
level of
것을
power
금기시하는
if they
것이
aren't qualified. Yep. Sure. Reference to the N-Corp? Or yeah, reference to the nail and hammer.
아래 것들이 힘을 가져서 들고
They don't
일어나면
want to that the lowly to rise up and topple the ruling class over, huh?
그 가능성도
I couldn't
부정할 수
deny that
없겠네요.
possibility. Each nest must have its own reasons.
하지만 근본적으로
But fundamentally speaking, augmenting procedures are like high-performing vehicles. If an unqualified driver were to try and handle a vehicle with a power output above what they can handle, layers of order in the nest will fall apart in no time. So they'd like to prevent that from happening.
열성적인 설명
Sorry to
중에
interrupt your passionate exposition. The pain was genuine for me, just so you know. Soon enough, people wearing familiar outfits appeared, along with the unforgettable beats of footsteps.
검문소에서 봤다.
The ones from the checkpoint,
이제는 우리의
and now
든든한
there are
아군이네요.
reliable allies. Those robots, they look seriously hostile.
5천의 과다 출혈.
Hemorrhage within 5 seconds. Spinal damage of at least 12 centimeters in length.
두개골 파괴.
Direct impact on coronary artery. Destruction of the cranium.
그리하여 모든 적.
These steps will ensure that the enemy meets immediate death without unnecessary suffering.
불필요한 고통도
Can
고통이지만
do that, but wasn't it mainly to fully destroy the brain so that they can regenerate themselves?
저기
Hey, if you don't mind, could you pretend to be dead if this doesn't kill you right away?
내 어제
My body stayed up all night upgrading the insta-kill function.
조용히.
Quiet.
봐봐,
See,
내가
I told you.
맞잖아.
With that recoil distance, it only reaches as deep as the occipital lobe. Did you really have to learn it through trial?
진짜.
Damn it. It should have gone all the way through the temporal lobe.
질 수 없죠.
We can't lose to them.
로봇은
We have robots of our
저희
own.
쪽에도 있거든요.
They should be here any minute now.
아하. 짠.
Ah, there it is.
재생
The
앰플
regeneration
케어
ample administration.
그래도
It must be pretty
든든하겠어요.
handy to have them. Do they
상처를
inject the
입을 때마다
ampoules right as the
즉각적으로
staff is
재생을
injured?
치료해주는 건가요?
네,
Yes.
머리통이 날아가거나
As long as their heads are lost and the ampoule is injected before the golden time passes and their brain stops functioning, they're practically undying.
장기가 관통되거나
Injuries like holes in internal organs.
어이쿠, 뼈가 부러지는 것 정도는 수초 내에
Or
완성.
broken bones can be healed in seconds. What? Oh, that's the enemy's robot.
아픔조차 못 느끼지는 않을 텐데.
Even still, they wouldn't be
저들은
immune to
왜 이렇게
pain.
태연하게.
How can they be so calm about it?
심지어 바로 옆에 있는
They won't
동료의
even
신체가
bat an
절단되어서
eye to a colleague
눈길조차
right
안
next to them to being cut down.
당연한 일이다.
Natural behavior.
몇 초 내에 복구가
If all
된다.
wounds can be healed up in seconds, all judgment regarding it will be secondary.
그렇다면
If that's the case, will we become like that eventually?
그런 걸
I don't see a reason to think about such things.
궁금하잖아요.
I was just curious.
그런데
By the way,
여기
who are
목도는
these
입고
new
있는
faces with
인플루언서들은
unfamiliar
자기 소개해줄
outfits?
사람?
Anyone wanna introduce yourselves?
우리가 알 바는 아니지.
None of our business.
맞아.
True,
그런데
but it's
계속
kinda
마주보고
awkward to be
있으니까
just
조금
facing them.
어색해서
Someone's gotta
누군가는
talk,
말을 꺼내야
no?
하지 않나 싶은데? 고작 테러 조직 따위한테
Why should we introduce
왜
ourselves to a
자기소개를 해야
terrorist
하죠?
organization?
우린 테러 조직.
We're no
따위다.
mere terrorist organization. Watch your words.
나는 그 어감
I don't hate the sound of it.
나쁘지 않은 것
It
같아.
lines up with my beliefs. So
내 가치관과
when I was
생각을
4, I had to answer the call of a grad school because the paper I wrote on atoms won a prize at the age of 11.
조용히.
Shut it. We're the Technology Liberation Alliance. Technology Liberation Alliance.
어떤 기술을 해방시키는 거죠?
Liberate what technologies exactly?
건가요?
Does technology yearn for freedom?
아마도
Maybe?
연구실 안에 있는
They're talking about the animals in the lab, I think.
들었어?
You hear that? He thinks we're animal protectors or something.
미안한데.
Sorry, but that went out of fashion long ago. You think we're working day and night assembling machines just to fight for happily raised chickens fried in healthy oil? Type X32 bolts are so hard to get these days. We have to order them from other nests. Do you have any idea of how much tax is added?
X-320 볼트는
You can substitute type
X-9 볼트를
X.
구조한 다음
Why are we talking about this?
감금질을 하면 대체가 가능합니다.
I don't... Sure.
아는 척을.
오. 아니야. 그럼
It could work, sure.
왜 촉구나 주는 거야?
이해만
Why?
하시겠죠? 연구
Research have a
결과는
creed more valuable than
중요하지.
life? Sure. Whatever.
최선을 다해보지. 아이씨, 방금 벌레 말은 듣지 않다는 사람 누구야?
정화.
침묵하라.
좋아.
이제 쓸만해져.
탱고더. 아 옛날 버릇이. 적사살 좋아.
참여하게 되리라.
우리가 우세. 서둘러 끝내보자고.
무슨 맛일까? 활그로
유효타 좋아. 계속 집중하지.
그 오늘을 다 죽어라.
제대로 찝었군.
이단을 정화해라.
탱고더. 아 옛날 버릇이.
Okay, 5 more of them.
불길 속으로.
너 말.
방금은 좋지 않았어. 뭐 그럴 수도 있지. 포기하지만 말자고.
걸려라.
다 죽어라.
이 전투는 승리할 거예요.
Only one target.
우리가 우세. 서둘러.
가자.
무불아위.
벌게서 활그로
모든 걸 걷어들일 순 없었어. 걸려라. 자, 한 건 했고.
다 죽어라. 당연한 결과죠. 저는 선택받았으니까.
Do we need to fight another one of these robot fights? Yep, that's right.
응원하는 게 도움이 되긴 하려나.
정화.
힘내긴 해보자고.
걸려라.
유효타 좋아. 계속 집중하지. 최선을 다해보지. 방금 벌레 말을 듣지 않는다는 사람 누구야?
피는 확실히 빼는 편이지. 좋아.
침묵하라.
우리가 우세. 서둘러 끝내보자고.
정화. 걸려라. 제대로 찝었군. 자, 한 건 했고.
이제 쓸만해져. 활그로
탱고더. 아, 옛날 버릇이. 적사상.
Take wave 2.
불길 속으로.
모든 걸 걷어들일 순 없었어.
방금은 좋지 않았어. 뭐 그럴 수도 있지. 포기하지만 말자고.
자,
수많은 것들이 옥죄어 온다.
무불아위.
한 방 먹였네. 이 기세를 멋들어 보자고.
정화.
그 오늘의
너 맞. 취.
침묵하라.
너 맞.
우리가 우세. 서둘러 끝내보자고.
참여하게 되리라.
그래서 이제 쓸만해졌고.
There's no... I don't know what to comment. Except, okay, there's another fight where you just click auto...
이
auto...
정도면 너무
and you just
성공적이지.
auto to fight. Autoing the fight.
정화하고 깨끗한 세계를 세우라.
뭐 확실히
That certainly looks convenient. Broken bones heal up in a matter of moments.
K사에서
K-Corp provided us with an astronomical sum of research grant to support our research on improving the sample. Do keep this a secret from Shren, please. She might get mad at me about it for 3 months.
시계는
Clock
그까지
would only
고통이
bind the
얼마나
thing
무서웠는지.
after we died, scared of a little hurting.
우리가
나 지금
Yeah.
오른손 뼈에 조금
I think I cracked a bone in my right hand.
도끼 주기가 영
Can I get an ample? It's kinda hard to grip my axe. Nadia stood in front of a K-Corp drone and extended her right arm. Welcome, K-Corp drones are always there for your health. Administering regeneration ample. Cannot administer. Friendly entities of type 3J54 are eligible for serum rejection, but regeneration ampoules may only be administered to patients hemorrhaging 1 LR or more blood. Also, since you have not taken a cross-compatibility test for the ampoules, we do not take any responsibility for possible side effects. Thank you.
뭐? 무슨
What?
소리야?
What are you
그럼
talking about?
팔다리 중 하나라도
You want me to
달려오라는
cut off
거야?
an arm or a leg or something?
힘이
They're
그러고
already
있잖아요.
doing that. Look at the K-Corp staff.
재생 앰플을
They're cutting up
구입하려고
their own limbs
스스로 신체를
to get
자르고.
ample.
어쩔 수 없습니다.
It's a necessary requirement. It would be a tremendous financial waste to use regeneration ampoules for every little scratch. I hate to make comparisons, but its value is far above the caliber of small firms like yours. Yeesh. It looks a bit dangerous here. Those machines are too rough. They might get me killed if I'm not careful. I might want to stay away from the fray a bit just to be safe. Just then, something grazed past my head. I mean, my head with a threatening shrill. Ah. What? Right as another projectile flew at me, Ishmael swiftly stretched her arm to take the hit. Turning to the direction of the projectiles came from, I didn't find any enemy robots. Instead, there was a K-Corp drone glaring with red.
관리자님, 괜찮으십니까?
Executive Manager, are you alright?
제가 대신 맞았는데요.
I'm the one who got hit, Altis.
이 오티스가 대신 맞았.
I should have taken the projectile for you, curses.
저기요.
Excuse me. See what your robots that caused a bomb to make her do? They fired at an ally. I must object. That was not a friendly fire. Samjo yelled from behind, raising his hand high. However, it does appear that exceptions couldn't be fully configured. I apologize for that particular shortcoming.
무슨 헛소리를.
What rubbish are you... What are you talking about? As you are aware, you could come into this place purely thanks to Mr. Dongran's limp. Having visitors in this place is an extremely rare occurrence, and as such, a factor that wasn't put into consideration. What are you talking about? That K-Corp's regenerator drones do more than just heal people. Why does it look like my body is melting? Can anyone make it make sense? Ishmael. Normally, K-Corp's drones administer regeneration ampoules to injure personnel. However, it injects a decay ampoule to the deserters. It shot the decay ampoule at me because I was trying to escape the combat zone? And that's just revolting. Think you can just pull off summary executions when there isn't even a war going on. Yeah, why not just make the drones fight instead? Since you're from must have valued the human life, am I right? The value of each drone we have far surpasses that of 10 Class 2 staff members combined. You understand? Okay. You should understand. You accept it. I've had crappy coercion shoved in my face too many times. I don't feel like complying anymore. I do understand where it's coming from. There was a research that revealed deploying K-Corp's drones in simulated battles increased the odds of victory by 23.5%. It was a pretty famous paper among scholars. Since the old times, deserters who try to flee from battle have been pointed out as greater detractors of moral than the threat of overwhelming oppression or weakness of the leader. Public punishments of deserters is a historically proven tactic supported by many examples. Understand it all you like then. Wait, what are you all talking about? Look at Ishmael, she's melting down. Apologies for my negligence, Executive Manager. I fail to consider the suffering you must endure when you turn the clock. What? That's not what You might want to hurry if that's your concern. Her heart should still be intact in her current state. Manager, what'll happen to me? The clock's hands turned with agony. Meanwhile, Yi-san was staring at empty ampoules rolling on the floor. So, I mean, we still have not gotten to Yi-san's story yet.
너, 맛,
방금은 좋지 않았어. 뭐 그럴 수도 있지. 포기하지만 말자고. 내가 응원하는 게 도움이 되긴 하려나?
정화.
힘내긴 해보자고. 유효타 좋아. 계속 집중하지.
I mean, how many? I don't even know how many chapters there are in this stupid. How many modules there are in this chapter?
끝내보자고.
But I think there may be a lot because it's the first chapter that's been released after a while. So I think there's gonna be more than usual, more than just a typical chapter 3.
우리가 우세. 서둘러 끝내보자고.
무슨 맛일까?
행고더. 아,
Let's go for this one.
불길 속으로.
걸려라.
I don't know why they don't use their egos first, which is... I don't understand how the order is for the use of the abilities here. Because Falls used this ability first before the ego here. So I don't understand. Like...
우리가 우세. 서둘러 끝내보자고.
불길 속으로.
It feels to me like they're using their egos last for some reason.
떼어내주지.
침묵하라.
너, 맛,
이제 쓸만해.
우리가 우세. 서둘러 끝내보자고.
참여하게 되리라.
걸려라. 자, 한 건 했고.
당연한 결과죠. 저는 선택받았으니까.
Okay, we're on to level 30. Alright, I need to wait for some more energy. I think, yeah, I'm just gonna wait for the energy to come. I don't know how long this is gonna be. Oh, we got 22 here. I mean, at least 22 then. At least 22. Wait, I haven't collected this? Okay, well, I can't do this. Might as well, I'll just wait for the energy to come back.
소문을 흘려듣지 마세요.
There's really no
소문의 모든 시작은
point for me to like
정지.
to do that right now. Like, I don't really want to spend some modules. This instead of pursuance inflicts burn. 1 rest, 1 blunt power up. Okay, this heals people. Yeah, I mean, I'll just stick with my current loadout.
소문을 흘려듣지 마세요, 단테. 소문의 모든 시작은 한 조각의 진실로부터 나오니까요.
Let's see, do I have how much do I have? 272. Okay, well, I will leave it here. I'll come back when I have more energy for the chapters, and we'll continue then. See you guys in a bit.